Hi, this is Lisa with Holland Designs Crochet. This is the Ocean Waves square, which is featured in my Nautical Summer Afghan Crochet Along ebook. And so I'm going to show you how to make this square and how to work this stitch pattern. So this is the right side of the square. This is sort of the ribbed, wavy, textured side. And then the opposite side looks like this. So this is the wrong side. So this is the right side of the Ocean Wave square, and I've worked all the rows. It has 19 rows, and then I am going to be edging this one using a white, since I'm edging all of my squares for this Afghan with white. So I'll do that in a moment. I'll be fastening off and just doing approximately 20 single crochet along each of the four sides for 80 single crochets all around. So I will be doing that, but I'll show you how to actually make this square and show you how to use the stitches used to create this beautiful texture. So I'm using a really pretty teal color. I'm not sure if you can see the color on camera, but it's beautiful dark teal. And I'm using a variety of blues for the wave squares, ocean wave squares in this blanket. So I'm using an H hook and a DK weight yarn for the sample. You can try a yarn and hook of choice if you want to use something heavier like a worsted weight, maybe with a K hook or something similar to that would be a good suggestion. So to begin this square, we're just going to do chain 21. That's my 21 chains, and it is important to have an odd number of chains to begin because we will have an even number of stitches on our rows. So for this square you need to have 21 chains. And for row 1 we're going to work starting in the second chain from hook. We're going to work half double crochet in second chain from hook and in each chain across. I always work in the just one loop at the top of my chain. I know some people like to work in other loops, maybe at the back. So whatever you prefer is fine. And just working half double crochet all the way across. When you finish this row, you can double check your stitch count if you need to, but you should have 20 half double crochets. So just make sure you haven't missed any chains, missed any stitches, so that your stitch count is accurate as you begin row 2. So at the end of this row, we will just do a chain 1 and turn. And at the end of every row in this pattern, we always just do a chain 1 and turn. So let me finish up this row and I'll come back and show you how to begin row 2. So I've finished row 1. I've got 20 half double crochets. And I did my chain 1. I'm going to turn my work now and begin to work row 2. So row 2 is a simple repetition, and it's written in parentheses in the pattern. You're going to be skipping the first half double crochet, working a front post half double crochet around the post of the next stitch or next half double crochet, and then work another half post half double crochet around the exact same stitch. So you have 2 front post half double crochets worked around that same post. And then you repeat that across the entire row. So you're going to skip the next half double crochet and again work your front post half double crochet around the next stitch, followed by a second one in the exact same place. You can see how that texture is being created now on this. This is the wrong side of the square that I'm showing currently. The ribbing will be on the opposite side. So I'll just repeat that all the way across. I'll have 20 stitches again, so the stitch count remains the same. We're doing a decrease by skipping 1 stitch and then an increase by working 2 stitches around 1 stitch. So that's how our stitch count is maintained. And again, the front post half double crochet is front of your work to the back of your work, again to the front, around the post or upright portion of that half double crochet of row 1. And let me go ahead and just finish row 2. Works up pretty quickly, and it's easy to memorize since this pattern is basically just a 2-row repeat. And let me show you how you will finish the end of the row as well, so you can see the stitch placement. So as you're coming to the end of your row, you'll have 2 half double crochets remaining here at the end, these 2. So you're going to skip one and you're going to work around the post of the last one. Now at the side here, there's a chain 1 at the edge, so you're going to be working around that post and you'll have that chain 1 at the edge there. So that's where the placement is for the last 2 stitches at the end of the row. So that is the completion of row 2 of the pattern. And again, I did my chain 1, turn my work. You can see we have the ribbing on the opposite side. So let me just continue on and show you row 3. So row 3 is very simple. It is just working a half double crochet in each of the half double crochets of row 2. So it's just, again, basically a repetition of what you did on row 1, which is basically just half double crochet across, and your stitch count will again be 20 half double crochets. So again, the repetition for this pattern is rows 2 and 3. And for the Afghan square itself, I had a total of 19 rows. So you'll end with a repetition of row 3, which is just a half double crochet row. Okay, so end of row 3 here. Make sure you work the stitch at the end, so make sure your stitch count is correct. You haven't missed any of the stitches. Chain 1, turn. And now I'm beginning row 4, which is a repetition of row 2, which is exactly the same. Skip 1 stitch and work 2 front post half double crochets around the post of the next stitch. And so again, just completely repeat what we did on row 2 all the way across. So that's pretty simple and easy to memorize, and it really does create a really pretty ribbed effect. I'll just show you the completed square again. So it's easy to count how many rows you have. Basically just count the ribs. So you'll count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and then you have the 19th row there at the top. So that's an easy way to count the number of rows so you know that you've done the correct number. And again, I'm going to edge the squares with single crochet, and then I will be sewing them together with whip stitch using a yarn needle. So I hope that you enjoy this simple textured stitch pattern and in creating these beautiful little squares.